Summer weed control. And I've said in other videos, can be a little bit risky when you're going out for summer weeds. This is one of the reasons why really in the spring, it's why I spent so much time in the spring on a lot of the videos that I had of weed control, particularly pre-emergent herbicides and what you're going to do to prepare you for the July, August timeframe. Can't get too creative, can't get too crazy this time of year, but we are going to go over Dallisgrass control. With Dallisgrass, has gotten worse over the last, really since I started over the last 35 years. It continues to go north and can be more of a problem. I'll show you how to control Dallisgrass. We're going to talk about controlling crabgrass, nutsedge, both purple and yellow. I'm going to give you a herbicide that will actually control both and do a very good job, and it's actually safe for all grasses, and it costs less than 15 bucks. So anyway, we are going to cover summer weed control in this video, so let's get started. General rules of thumb whenever you're putting out a herbicide, particularly in the summer, do not want to do it when it's above 85 degrees. Ideally, do it in the evening. I wouldn't even do it in the morning. I would do it in the evening. The reason being is you put herbicide on the plant. I've actually had this happen to me on a wetting agent. You can put a chemical on a plant and you get something called phototoxicity, which is basically kind of like a chemical burn on the plant. It doesn't necessarily kill it, but it does turn it yellow, and it will stay that way for a few days, so you don't want to do that. Secondly, if you are putting out a granular, you want the leaf blade to be moist. That granular generally on post-emergent herbicides has to get on that leaf blade and has to sit on that leaf blade or the leaf of the weed and get absorbed by it. So it needs to be wet when you do that. Third, you do not want to mow 2 days before or 2 days after you put it on. That way those weeds have enough leaf surface in order to absorb the herbicide. 4, you do not want to have water almost, and see the label on this, but about all of them are 24 hours. No irrigation, no rain. You want it there again, sitting on the leaf blades. Those are general rules of thumb when putting out any type of herbicide. Now let's get to cool season grasses. You warm season grass guys, what I'll do here, right here is where I'll put. If you guys want to fast forward through the cool season grass, totally down with that. Go straight to the warm season grass section, and then after the warm season grass section, I'll tell the cool season grass guys where that section is, and you all can go to the Dallisgrass and nutsedge section of this video. Save you some time. Summer weed control on cool season grasses. Now, should have been covered by your pre-emergent herbicides you put out in the spring, but maybe some of you didn't put it out. Now you have a yard with a lot of weeds such as this, and probably if you have crabgrass, you have other weeds as well. Here's what I'm going to advocate to you. Crabgrass at the 1-tiller stage, which is essentially this, and up until the 2-tiller stage. Then you have between a 2 and a 4-tiller stage. Tillers being this right here, okay? That's the little stem that comes out. The main herbicide in your arsenal on cool season grasses is an active ingredient called quinaclorac. It does an excellent job on young crabgrass and old crabgrass. I simplify it, and I think I've actually seen this on the label. I hadn't found the label, but I've seen this on the label. Essentially, it's not going to do you any good from July 1st to August 15th because it's going to be between that 2-tiller and that 4-tiller stage. It does a good job on old and young, like I said. Here's what I advocate to you. You can go out and you can go ahead and treat it, but at the end of the day, if your yard's that doggone thin, you at least have something green out there. And if your yard is indeed that thin, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to overseed in the fall anyway, if you want a quality yard. So here's what I'm telling you. Here's what I would do if I was in that situation. I would go out with, you can go out with a quinaclorac product. One of the really good products that's easy to use is this Spectricide Weed Stop with Crabgrass Killer. It will kill every single weed in your yard, and it will clean it up. And if you put it out on August 15th, around that time, you'll clean it up. Then you can go in, because you have to wait 30 days after you put it out, and then you can seed your yard. You can seed 30 days after you put it out. I would also, for you guys who maybe your yard is actually in pretty good shape, but you have some Poe, which I do in this tall fescue ryegrass blend yard that I have here. Also has some common tall fescue in it too. What I would do, if you have weeds, go out with that Spectricide Weed Stop, okay? Then follow up maybe early September with either the Scots for seeding or tenacity or torsity or the sublime product. The reason being is that's going to do a number of things to you. We're talking Poania control now. If you put that out early September, ideally before soil temperatures start getting below 70 degrees, it's going to do two things. One, it is going to really set back, perhaps even kill any existing Poania that you have in your yard. Secondly, it's going to be a pre-emergent for that Poania that may be germinating once when soil temperatures get below 70. Okay, I'll try to find this. I think it's a Penn State article. If not, I'll put it down below. Can't remember the university, but anyway, always cite. Irritates me when guys put studies show. Okay, well, cite the damn study. Which, anyway, and I'm on a tangent. Majority of the Poania that is going to germinate in yards we do in the fall. And you can go ahead and put the mesotrione product out. Scott for seeding, sublime, or tortoisey, or tenacity. Put it out and you can seed right behind it, right after you put it out, or same day for that matter. But I'm telling you to do it a little earlier in September, and then seed after that, anytime after that. So that's going to control your Poania. The Poania you have. Poania is going to be germinating within 30 days, and it's going to give you an advantage of getting your new seed up, and it's going to be able to get a jump on the Poania. It's going to germinate in the fall. My guess is they say 30 days of pre-emergent control on Poania. My guess is it's probably closer to 45. They generally are conservative on the labels on those. Okay, to sweeten this pot that I'm cooking for you here, okay? Majority, almost all of your pre-emergent herbicides for cool season grasses, I'm talking prodiamine, diclopyr, and pendimethalin, are all group 3 herbicides. Talk about this in the herbicide pre-emergent video about it not working. There is a great deal of Poania that is resistant. In other words, group 3 herbicides won't control it anymore because it's been used over and over and over again. You have resistant Poania to those group 3 herbicides. Mesotrione, memory serves, is a group 27. So on a group 27 herbicide, there's not a whole lot of Poania out there that has resistance to that different group, that different mode of action on Poania. Okay, so you're going to get better control out of that using this method of a pre-emergent in the fall, and it's going to prevent a lot of that from germinating, and it's also going to control post-emergent while you're seeding. So do be aware of that, and that's what I would do. If I had a yard with a bunch of weeds in it, I'd go out August 15th, use that quinaclorac, hit it then. Ideally with that, you'll go out with that Spectracide weed stop product, hose in adapter, clean everything up, wait 30 days, then follow up with a mesotrione and overseed your yard. I have an overseeding video where I show you how to use a mower, your push mower, and a mower blade, and you can probably get 3 of them if you had a riding lawnmower. It actually removes all the dead organic matter, takes all that out, and prepares a seed bed in pretty much a swipe or two. It takes a lot of the work out of it. So see my overseeding video. I really think that's probably about the only realistic option that you have if you have any crabgrass at all. On this yard, I didn't do a pre-emergent herbicide. I have no crabgrass on this yard. Reason being I don't have any crabgrass on this yard. One, I put out crabgrass control last year, and generally if you put out crabgrass 3 years in a row, pre-emergent herbicide, pardon me, 3 years in a row, you probably can skip a year. That's number one. Two, I've got a dense yard and I'm mowing it at a higher mowing height. So I'm actually mowing this right now at about 3 inches. And I'm getting the shade, pardon me, the sun off that soil because crabgrass needs sun in order to germinate. Don't believe me? Go to a park this time of year, see where the shade from the shade tree ends and the sun begins. From there out, you'll have crabgrass. From there in, you won't have any. So that's how to prevent crabgrass. Simply mow your grass taller. So that's what I advocate for cool season grasses. Now, what about warm season grasses? Warm season grasses. You actually have a silver bullet. And it's a lot easier with warm season grasses because you guys can take the heat. You can take a decent amount of drought stress. So it's easy. And that is a product called Celsius. And it comes in these very convenient 0.22 ounce packets. Generally, each 2 0.22 ounce packet does 2,000 square feet. That's actually the high rate, which is 0.113 ounces per 1,000 square feet. They're very easy to mix, and I cannot remember if it includes the non-ionic surfactant or not, and I think it does, and I will put right here if it does or doesn't. You put a non-ionic surfactant with most stuff, it's usually about a quarter ounce for every gallon. So that's it. So if you have a 4-gallon spray tank, you put 2 ounces in it, and that usually covers you. And most of the herbicides I've seen ask for a non-ionic surfactant, if they ask for one at all. But you should read the label on those, particularly when dealing with grassy weeds, Annua, those types of things. They oftentimes ask for a non-ionic surfactant. Anyway, but Celsius will pretty much control. Here's what I did. Here's a before and after. I put this out in May, right here before, on this area of Bermudagrass. Here's the after in June. It killed all the cool season grasses. There again, this is only for warm season grass, guys. Killed all the warm season grass, which there was tall fescue in there. There was wild violet. There was clover. There was a lot of stuff in it. Cleaned it up as clean as a whistle. There again, I would also not do the Celsius application until get a good rain, then go out the next day, then do your Celsius ideally. Don't wait for any type of drought stress at all. If it's below 90, you should be fine on warm season grasses. Now let's talk about Dallisgrass. Dallisgrass is a bugaboo. Here's what I advocate. And I did a video on this, gosh almighty, I think a year or two ago. I think it was one of my first videos. Simply use glyphosate. Take advantage of Dallisgrass's ability to grow higher than the existing turf. Take a sponge, stick it on the end of a broom. I've got mine on the end of a putter. Take the glyphosate. I have glyphosate on my post-emergent herbicide list on my Amazon storefront. Mix it up. I think it's a 3% rate, if you will. Put that in a bucket, put that sponge in there, and simply go lightly brush the leaves of that Dallisgrass. Hit it 10 days later, probably hit it again. That sponge method of application, both cool and warm season grasses. And you can also use this for nutsedge. I'm getting the nutsedge here in a second, but you can also use it for nutsedge too. It does a pretty good job. Now, nutsedge on all grasses. This is the one exception that I would say on cool season grasses, and this is for all grasses, and that is, I have mine here, is sedgehammer. It controls both purple and yellow nutsedge, and it does a great job, and this is so easy to mix, and it also has a non-ionic surfactant all the way in it. All you have to do is put sedgehammer in a gallon of water, and off you go. Now, when you put this out, guys, it's a mist. This is why I'm not a big advocate of spot treating, because you have a tendency to overspray. That's it. You are just misting it on the leaf blade. That's all it needs. Take a gallon jug, mix it up. It's going to last. I actually did a video on this last year. And one of the things that came up was, how long will it last? Now, this says it needs to be sprayed within 24 hours. I'm almost positive of that. And then it loses its activity. And usually what I've seen on labels with rates or anything else, they usually are pretty conservative in how they do. I'm not saying put out more than what says on the label. It's not what I'm saying. Great way to kill grass. But what I'm saying is, at least of how long it'll last mixed up already. Once you mix with water, I have found you've got probably about 10 days before it loses its effectiveness. It just degrades. As soon as you mix this with water, that clock starts. So you cannot put this out, it says on the label, 6 to 10 weeks after you've already put it out. This is why I kind of wait a little later in the year. I've got some nutsedge working in this Bermudagrass. I've got some nutsedge working on the tall fescue ryegrass lawn. I'm going to give it like late July, so I know all of it's germinated, and then I'm going to go through. That's what I'm going to handle. Not mid-July, because everything that's going to be germinated from nutsedge is going to be germinated by then, and I can go through, I can hit it, and it's gone. I'm agronomist Greg Phillips, and look, check out the Facebook page. This has helped you. Like, subscribe, and look, it's there again. You got Celsius for warm season. You got wait until August, and you got 2 options there that I recommend in August for grassy weed control. There, as I say, it's not that complicated. Anyway, thanks for watching.